Now the other question is, what do you get for domains of compositions? Now this does work a little bit differently, all right? So two steps. Step one here, find the domain of G. Step two, work out the composition f of G. Find the domain of what you see. Anything excluded in either G by itself or in the new function must be excluded. Okay? So let's see how this goes. So the domain of f composed with G is this. So that is this, f of G of x is 4. So f is 4 over x plus 1, so 4 over G of x plus 1. Now unfortunately this one's a little bit messy. Now here's the thing. If you remember, actually let's go back and deal with the domain of G first. The domain of G, so G is 2 over x minus 3, right? There's no even radical, but there is a denominator, so the denominator can't be 0, right? So x can't equal 3. In interval notation, that's minus infinity 3 union 3 infinity. All right, so there's the domain of G. Now let's come back to this. All we really care about is either an even radical, and we don't have any radicals, or that the denominator does not equal 0, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the whole big denominator here and set it equal to 0. All right? 2 over x minus 3 plus 1. Well, really I'm going to say, look, can't be 0. Subtract 1 from both sides. All right. Now, I think the easiest thing is I'm going to multiply both sides by x minus 3 to get rid of that, get rid of the fraction, right? So over here, the two x minus 3's cancel. I'm left with a 2. And over here, I get minus x plus 3. All right. Subtract 3 from both sides. Minus 1 not equal to minus x. And then multiply both sides by minus 1. In this case, I get x not equal to minus 1. Okay? So I have the original that x is not equal to 3. That's from up here in the G. But then in my combined one, I also get x not equal to minus 1. All right? So, and as you will see, I wrote over where I was going to come in. We're skipping the whoops, not equal to 1. I multiply both sides by minus, so I should have got a positive 1 there. Sorry. Minus 1 times right, going to multiply both sides by the minus. So minus x becomes x, minus 1 becomes 1, right? So I'm going to skip the 1 and the 3. The 1 from the new combined function, the 3 from the G. All right? So that is the way that works. So when you have a composition, anything that's excluded from the inner one, in this case that was G, right? And anything that's excluded from the combined one, you have to exclude all of that. So let's look at this one real quick as another example. So if we're going to do f of G, the inner one is 1 over x plus 4, right? 1 over x plus 4. So that means that x plus 4 is not 0. So x is not minus 4. So that's minus infinity, minus 4, union minus 4, infinity. That's the G, and then if we're going to combine them, f of G, so that's going to be f of 1 over x plus 4, right? So that's 1 over x plus 4 squared minus 13. This is a lousy example. It's too freaking hard. We'll skip it. Let's move on. Let's do this one. We're going to evaluate this one real quick. So f minus g of minus 3. All right, so that's the way this works out. That's f of minus 3 minus g of minus 3, okay? Well, f of minus 3, let's come down here, f of minus 3, 1 over 2 times minus 3 plus 8 minus, and then g of minus 3 is going to be 3 minus 3 squared. All right, so this is 1 over minus 6 plus 8 minus, well, minus 3, remember exponents come before multiplication, so minus 3 squared is 9. So we'll just do this as a step, so 3 times 9. So this is minus 6 plus 8 is 2, so this is 1/2 minus 27. That's going to be minus 26 and a half. Now it says to type it as an integer or a decimal. That's why I did the 0.5. All right, so let's see. Yep, minus 26.5. All right, I think this is the last slide. So what we're going to do now is we're going to evaluate each of these using the graph, okay? So looking at the first one, f plus g of 2, remember this is going to be f of 2 plus g of 2. Well, let's see, the blue one is f. So when x is 2, f here looks like 4. So that's 4 plus. And when g is 2, that looks like 3. So 4 plus 3, that is going to be 7. F minus g of 1, well, it looks like f of 1 is 1. So that's 1 minus. And it looks like g of 1 is going to be this one, that's 2. 1 minus 2 is minus 1. F times g of 0, well, f of 0 is the origin, it's going to be 0. So 0 times, and then g of 0 is 1. 0 times 1 is 0. And then f divided by g of 1, well, we've already seen that f of 1 is 1, and g of 1 is 2. So that's just a half. All right, so we get 7 minus 1, 0, a half. 0.5 they wrote it as. All right.